Hundreds of thousands of Americans had their personal information stolen last year as criminals tried to take advantage of enhanced unemployment benefits during the pandemic. It gets hot in Southeast Texas, no surprise there. And not only does it get hot, but we also see our share of severe weather. But the question now is, how prepared is our power grid to make sure power stays on and not have a repeat of what we saw happen during the winter storm? Those are questions many of us are asking, and tonight we're getting some answers. Tonight, the Jasper County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help to find the person who killed an 80-year-old man inside of his home. A chase, a wreck, and a woman's body found in a car trunk. Tonight, the DPS and Texas Rangers are investigating the death as a homicide. At least 9 people are dead and more than 150 people are still unaccounted for since Thursday morning's condo collapse in Surfside, Florida. Extensive search and rescue operations continue at the site of the deadly collapse in Florida. Fox News multimedia reporter Katie Byrne has more on that story from Surfside. A New York City man is under arrest tonight, accused in a brazen kidnapping attempt of a 5-year-old boy. The child's mother was fast to react, and as CBS's Michael George shows us, it was all caught on camera. Tonight, a woman now faces murder charges in connection to what police call a drug deal gone bad in Silsbee. Just at this intersection alone, there are at least 5 major potholes, and just to give you an idea of what these residents are having to deal with, this pothole alone is more than 3 feet long. The mayor tells us that unless the city addresses the core issues at hand, these potholes are going to continue to be a problem. In the meantime, he encourages citizens to show up at city council meetings to voice their concerns. In China, Rocio de la Fe reporting. These flags are placed at every gravestone of someone who served in the U.S. military and is buried here at Campground Cemetery in Woodville. They were placed by 83-year-old Cecil Fortenberry. The Army veteran says he simply wants to honor those who gave their life for our freedom. Here at Campground Cemetery in Woodville, 180 flags are placed next to the gravesite of someone who served in the U.S. military. They were placed by an 83-year-old veteran who says it's his mission to honor those who served. The bill has already passed the Texas Senate and it's now in the House up for consideration. Then it would head to the voters. These are some of the signs that have gone up across Bolivar Peninsula in recent weeks, warning beachgoers of potentially dangerous and excessive levels of bacteria found in the water. Daniel Murphy of Katy worked hard to achieve his dream of owning a beach house, but a trip to Crystal Beach over the July 4th weekend ended up cutting his dream vacation spot short and ultimately taking his life.
He was the most likable individual you could ever meet.
The 57-year-old suffered a cut to his lower leg that weekend. Thinking nothing of it, he got in the water, as so many do during the summer months.
Everything was fine, and then wakes up Tuesday morning and his right lower leg was infected and sore, so he immediately went to the emergency room, admitted him into the hospital.
Dan was suffering from a vibrio vulnificus infection, a harmful and fast-spreading bacteria naturally found in warm marine waters. The infection was so severe, doctors had to amputate his leg below the knee to try to stop the infection. He died a day later on July 8th.
It happened very quickly, but from the time that he realized he had a problem was Tuesday morning to Thursday morning, 48 hours, and it took his life.
Dr. Ali Osman with Baptist Hospital of Southeast Texas says that while severe infection from this bacteria is rare, there's a 30 to 40% mortality rate even if you catch it early.
Sometimes he will present just like any other infection, any gastrointestinal infection with nausea, vomiting, fever, abdominal cramp.
Dr. Osman says people with immunocompromised diseases such as liver disease, diabetes, and hepatitis are most at risk, which is why Kristen Giese and her family say they're not getting in the water.
And we love coming down here. We've been coming down here for years. 2 years ago, we bought a house down here because we love being here, and started watching last week on Facebook and seeing the bacteria levels rising. My parents are with us. They're in their late 60s. My husband has diabetes. I have 2 little girls, and so it's not worth the risk for us.
Matt Pace hopes Dan's tragic and sudden passing helps others avoid the danger.
Hopefully they save a life by putting the word out there.
The Texas General Land Office does have a website where they regularly update bacterial levels found in the water. For more information, we've posted a link on our website. That's kfdm.com. At the Bolivar Peninsula, Rocio de la Fe, KFDM 6 News. These flags are placed at every gravestone of someone who served in the U.S. military and is buried here at Campground Cemetery in Woodville. They were placed by 83-year-old Cecil Fortenberry. The Army veteran says he simply wants to honor those who gave their life for our freedom.
My brother right there. For nearly 10 years, Cecil Fortenberry has made it his mission to honor the veterans who now rest at the top of this hill.
It's an old community cemetery.
Every year, the 83-year-old Army veteran places American flags next to each person who served in the armed forces. The idea began after he was asked by 2 former veterans to continue placing flags once they had passed. Since then, the red, white, and blue can be seen from a distance, all 180 of them.
I said, we got to have this. And I went and started getting donations, and we bought these flags, and we put them on these posts. And that's where it started at.
Transforming this site at Campground Cemetery in Woodville into one that captures the hearts of those who stop by, including those like Tillman Johnson, whose son rests here after serving in Iraq.
Memorial Day is pretty significant to our family. Very appreciative of Cecil, and he keeps the cemetery mowed, and he puts the flags out every year, which is that's a pretty good task in itself.
But it's not just the task of placing the flags out that Cecil takes upon himself. He also put up the fence surrounding the cemetery and mows the lawn.
Cecil tells me he plans to continue this tradition of maintaining the cemetery for as long as he's able to do so. In Woodville, Rocio de la Fe reporting.